Pumpkins, what is up? I apparently wanted to get on film today, and I either wanted to look like your affluent grandfather that like has a sailboat and you're like, that's silly, or I wanted to look like the in the closet frat bro that's like really fucking sweet to you, but you're just begging for him to come out of the closet. And guess what? It's gonna happen someday, I swear. Either way, it has been quite a while since I've done a dinner episode. Dinner is a series on my YouTube channel where I wanted to kind of strip back on the personality that I am, the comedy that I very much lean into for the majority of my content, and take a little more of a meaningful step into topics that really hit me in my day-to-day, far beyond the comedy, far beyond the humor, and the things that kind of have cycled in and out, and topics I like want to touch on because I don't see everybody talking about them. And if I don't see that, I'm like, I want to voice it because I know somebody else out there has felt this way. So I'm back with dinner, and I have to say I was so inspired by Mario Adrian. He's a comedian. He just came out with a video last week about a very complicated history of his sex life. He was so vulnerable in that video, and I was like, this is why I started dinner, and I've got to get back into dinner. So I want to talk about a topic today of the level of like undying loyalty, or like ride or die friendship, or ride or die for your blood over, blood is thicker than water, all this shit about how you should be undyingly loyal to certain people based on familial shit, based on longevity of a friendship, whatever it is. I have slowly been bending my back out of any expectations that I should be undyingly, whoa, this is gonna be a tricky one, that any expectations that I should be undyingly loyal to anyone, because evolution occurs in relationships everywhere, whether it's family relationships, actual friendships where the point of you getting into them was based on a consent or an experience that you enjoyed, hopefully, rather than, maybe I'm just like getting into this relationship because I want to feel like I fit in, or like I'm going with the process of being a part of society. I hope that's not the case. I'm more talking about, I got into this relationship with a friend, with a lover, out of consent, and the reason I'm here is because I love the treatment that I get and the treatment that I give in this relationship. I know many people that will suspend this feeling of, we've bonded in this category, we've spent this much time together, which means I'll never leave your side for any rhyme or reason. For me, that's always been kind of funky. I don't know if I've always looked at that quite differently because my familial upbringing was very complicated. There was interesting storylines, not that it's a narrative that needs to be sold, but like a lot of things occurred. Mistreatment was had. I had the ability as a conscious young adult to leave. I did. So I started to build these mechanisms in my life where if something horrible was happening to me, when it wasn't due to me, I left. Or I completely communicated in a confrontational way in order to say, this isn't right. If we want to keep this relationship, things need to compromise or change. For me, I have felt like that's only brought more prosperous and healthy relationships into my life and kept the healthiness of my relationships that are existing to be fruitful and long. There's longevity to many of my close friendships, and I'm so fucking proud of it. And I actually think it's because it's an exercise of we continuously treat one another right, we continuously respect one another in the steps of our life, and we continue to evolve while keeping health in that relationship. That's where I'm at, baby. There are people all across the world that have been raised to believe that you need to stand by your family, and I think family is the best example I can bring into this because of the way society has dispelled this narrative on people. Your family is something you should stick by no matter which way they treat you, no matter how much respect they do or do not give you. Your sibling is a built-in best friend. Sadly, that's not the reality for many people. Sadly, many people have families and situations in their bloodline family where they weren't graced with respect. They weren't graced with great experience. And maybe there's another layer of this for me, being a gay male who had family choose to not be by my side strictly for the way I was born. So maybe there's a lot of examples in my life to why I really believe undying loyalty is something I completely sweep under the rug. And I'm like, I might not be your ride or die friend. You know what I mean? You up and murder somebody at a grocery because they were pulling a Karen. I actually don't think I'm gonna like help you hide the body. I think the real thing I'm probably gonna do is like, yo, I love you. Whoa, that was whack. Whoa, that was whack. I need you to turn yourself in. Cause also like, I don't want to hide a body. Bitch, maybe it's selfish. Maybe you think it's selfish that I don't want to help you hide a body. I don't want to go to jail for 33 years for first degree murder. I don't want to go to jail for that. I think that should be pretty simple. So yeah, I see a lot of trends on the internet as of right now about like my ride or die friends. I think there's a lot of like funny, fun conversations just speaking to the bond that people have with their friends. And I kind of want to just bring up those bonds change, those bonds evolve. I think as I'm getting into my late 20s and about to hit 30, what am I joking? You see a huge evolution of friendship happen in that period. Like your 20s, I really feel are a time where you weed out the friendships that suit you still, those friendships that no longer suit you. And in that feeling, you are embraced with this kind of reminder of, wait, I actually think the reason I'm in these relationships going forward as hopefully a mature, healthy adult is because they benefit me and add to a quality of my life. If they aren't, I would hope for the health of everybody, those relationships are confronted with this dynamic needs to change, or it is okay that we end this friendship, this relationship. It is in many cases, specifically in the gay community, a real tactic to say, you don't love me for who I am. You actually don't respect or treat me well for who I am and who I was born as. So I have to choose to no longer have a relationship with you, even though you are my biological mom, my biological father. So in the queer space, I think there's this huge practice of wiping away undying loyalty based on blood. And I think it's one of the healthiest things I've kind of ridden myself of is this feeling or expectation that they're mistreating me, but like they are my family member. They're mistreating me and they're no longer going to have a relationship with me. Are they still technically this title of a family member? Yeah. That's my sister who I don't speak to because they did this. And when they hopefully realize they did this, or maybe it's something I need to own up to, we can come to terms and maybe decide to repair this relationship because we are interlocked in the realm of having like ancestry. I don't know what it is. Long story long, I wanted to speak to that because I've been seeing a lot of discourse in my life online about people's friendships changing, and I think I have to admit to myself, I don't and I'm not a fan of undying loyalty. I'm not a ride or die friend. I am hopefully a rational friend that will stick by your side through thick and thin, but will also be rational enough to say, I actually need to leave this friendship if it's disrespectful, not treating me well, or hurting or compromising my quality of life in some way, shape, or form. AKA, did you murder somebody? Jesus Christ. Either way, let me know if you guys feel the same. You guys might feel entirely different. If so, that is wildly okay. Wildly okay. That's a fun term. I would love to hear what you think about this topic. I would love to hear if you kind of agree that blood is thicker than water. I would love to hear if you think it's all BS like myself. Either way, I hope you guys love this dinner series. There's a whole library of dinner episodes that are still back there, and sometimes I revisit it, and I'm really proud of what I've said in them, or I'm really proud of like just touching on a topic and being really vulnerable in that moment with you guys. And this is like a quality to YouTube that I really adore. This is why I'm on YouTube right here. I'll just say that. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't and you would like to, please subscribe. Mwah! I'll see you on the next video.